The Economy 2.0 update for Cities Skylines 2 is here, and it's a welcoming improvement to the management end of the game, bringing in challenges, fixing bugs, and generally improving the gameplay side of things to allow your decisions to have a real impact. In theory, at least. There are countless other videos explaining how the new patch works, but one thing I haven't seen discussed as much is its impact on mods and sandbox and detail players. I've been building this lightly modded city over on Twitch, but I was playing with money and milestones, so let's see how it handles the new update. So far, I needed a little time to settle in, but I didn't notice much in the way of death waves or demand changes until I looked at the budget. I was losing $18 million per month. Now, why is this? First of all, they got rid of government subsidies and increased upkeep costs for a lot of roads and city services. They tweaked the refund that you get from bulldozing buildings. They added in new policies and generally rebalanced the entire economy of the game itself. But the most controversial new add-on that they also implemented is an upkeep cost to each tile that you buy, and that goes up with each additional tile that you buy. So, what's the big deal? I had a mod installed called 529 tiles. What this basically does is it allows you to unlock every single tile on the map. And I started the city with all the tiles unlocked, so I could have a bit more freedom to plan as this map is a small island map. But I didn't think about that at first. I thought maybe it was the map itself, as some maps do start with more tiles unlocked. But no, it was this mod. I wasn't aware, and actually Algernon was nice enough to inform me in the Discord that there is a slider in the mod's option panel to change the tiles' upkeep costs and reduce them down to 0 so that you can avoid this problem, or you can just play with unlimited money. But the vanilla game's new upkeep cost for tiles itself is an interesting decision. And it's actually quite expensive. Tile upkeep is said to mimic the realities of property taxes in real-world municipalities. But I have no comment on that because I'm not a city planner or a government person. But what it really does is it forces the player to be considerate and careful about the decisions they make and how to utilize their available land in the best way possible, which from a management perspective is kind of cool, but also it's a pain in the ass. So let's take the good with the bad, because at least now, some of our decisions have real meaningful impact on the future of the city as a whole. And once you buy a tile, you can't really sell it back. So that's kaput for your city if you buy too many and you don't have the income to support it. When starting a new city, I did notice a bit of a slower pace to the game. But the good thing was, other than the brief snafu with 529 tiles, most of the other 85 mods I had installed showed absolutely no issues. Even custom assets survived and all of my saves worked fine. So that's a relief to anybody who's been playing modded for a while who may be concerned about installing the new patch and breaking their saves. Although I haven't experienced them yet, there are reports on Reddit of multiple bugs in the simulation that do need to be addressed. So keep this in mind when you migrate over your cities to the new patch, as you'll also have to run the game for a while for everything to adjust, which can lead to death waves, issues with traffic, workplaces, rent, and pretty much every aspect of the simulation. This didn't happen to me much in my Twitch build yet, but I only ran it for about an hour or so I may need to give it more time to rebalance. Overall, if you're a detailer or a sandbox player, there really isn't much in this update for you, and it might make the game a bit less enjoyable without mods. But one really cool feature that they did add is the ability to place service building upgrades away from the main building within a specified radius. This is a highly requested feature, and it's great to see the devs finally listening to player feedback. So the burning question in everyone's mind right now, especially people I've talked to, both in my community online and amongst the many people I've met and talked to in real life about this is now a good time to get into Cities Skylines 2 if you haven't bought the game already? And I say yes, actually, especially if you're more into the management side of things and are just starting a fresh new game. It does feel more challenging and more like a simulation instead of just a city painter. However, the main reason I would say go for it is this. The new update shows that the devs are listening and are serious about fixing this game and have finally shown it. Even if it's in a small way that's geared towards management players, it's a welcome sign of positivity and progress, even if there's some growing pains and some glitches along the way. While the performance issues are better, I have had some problems with crashing while using mods, but again, that could be my mods more than anything, because on vanilla, it does seem to do much better than it did at launch. So take that with a grain of salt and make your own choice. But it's great to see steady improvements in the game, and at the very least, it's been enough for a lot of us to pick the game back up and give it a shot. And generally, the sentiment that I've seen across the community is one of more cautious optimism, a lot more positivity and hopefulness after a rough, terrible launch and a rough first year for the game. We're finally starting to see some movement, and I think that's a welcome sign.
Imagine a Walmart here. Imagine a Walmart here. This one looks like it could use a Dollar General. Wow, that would look so much better as a 48-lane elevated interstate. I can see a Dave & Buster's here. That looks like the perfect place for a Papa John's. Imagine a Buc-ee's here. Would be a lot cooler if there was a 14-lane Strode here. Imagine a Walmart here.